Welcome learners to Form 4 Mathematics. We are going to look at how to draw a graph we call the Ogive. The Ogive. The other name for Ogive learner, is cumulative frequency curve or graph. So it is good to know the two names. So we are going to look at the Ogive, and this was a question which was tested in Kcse in year 2015. Now, learner, how do you plot the Ogive? Plotting. How do you plot it? How do you plot the cumulative frequency graph? You plot, you have to know this, you plot cumulative frequency, let me write it in short like that, against, you plot cumulative frequency against upper class limits. You plot cumulative frequency against upper class limits. You have to master this for you to be able to get all the 10 marks. Now, so we need now to come to this table. This is the question that was brought in that year. These are the classes, and these are the frequencies. So we need to fill in the column for cumulative frequency. I've written it in short, CF, and upper class limits, UCLs, upper class limits. So we fill in. So cumulative frequency, the first one will be 3, just like this one. The second one will be 3 plus 4, which is 7. This plus this gives you 17. This plus this gives you 29. This plus this, learner, gives you 37. This plus this gives you 40. So our total frequency is 40. So we are through with that. We then go to the upper class limits, learner. Upper class limits. How do you get the upper class limits? You come to the upper class boundary, this one here, the higher numbers in the classes, these ones here, you add 0.5. You go to these upper numbers here, you add 0.5. So 52 becomes 52.5. 57 becomes 57.5, 62.5, 67.5, 72.5, 77.5. Good. So we have our cumulative frequencies and we have the upper class limits. Now let us draw the Ogive. You come with your ruler. And first of all, make the axis, draw the axis. There we are. Then we continue. Fix the one here. There we are. So, learner, this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. The x and the y. So, from there, learner, you label your axis. What goes to the y-axis? Look at this. Plot cumulative frequency against this. So, this, learner, goes to the y-axis. Look at that. And this goes to the x-axis. So, you come and label. This is cumulative frequency. You write it in full. Don't write symbols. Cumulative frequency against what? Upper class limits. So before we drew the Ogive, learner, here, the Ogive is normally connected to the x-axis. Sana at the origin here. So we need to get what we call the UCL, the upper class limit at the origin. The upper class limit at the origin. We come to our upper class limits here and we trace the UCL, the one that will fix at the origin here. the UCL at the origin. So how do we get it? We look for the differences here. From here to here, if you subtract this minus this, you'll get 5. This minus this gives you 5. This minus this lana gives you 5. So the difference between these UCLs is 5. So what would be the UCL before this one if there was a class before this class? What would be the UCL? So you subtract 5 from here. So 52.5 lana minus 5. 52.5 lana minus 5 gives you what? 47.5. Look at that. This is the one that you'll fix at the origin. It is good to note that. So you look for the differences. I repeat, you look for the difference between one UCL to the other. In this case, it is 5. So what would be the UCL at the origin? You take this, you minus the 5. And therefore, 47.5 is the UCL that will fix at the origin. So come here and fix it on the x-axis. So you come and fix it here, 47.5. You can come now and continue with the others. This is 52.5. Look at that, Lana. You continue 57.5. 57.5, 62.5, 67.5. Then we have 72.5. And finally, we have 77.5. Good. So from there now, we fix our cumulative frequencies. Cumulative frequencies here, Lana. So you start with the 0 here. It lands on the same place as 47.5. Then you can fix a 10 here. You can fix a 20 here, Lana. You can fix 30 there. You can fix 40 there. 40. Good. So we now plot. We plot. So 52.5 goes with 3. 52.5 goes with 3. So where is our 3? So you plot 52 with 3. 57.5 with the 7, you take care of the tiny squares. You take 62.5 with the 17, there we are. You take 67.5 lana with the 29, you trace it accurately in the Cartesian plane. You go to 72.5 with 37, come and trace it, be somewhere there. And finally, you have 77.5 with the 40. 77.5 with 40. Where is it? Somewhere there. Now, remember you had the UCL at the origin, so you can also fix it there, like that. So, Lana, the next thing now is to join these points using freehand. Freehand, Lana, you join so that you get your curve. Get your curve like that. You continue, trace it nicely so that it looks like a smooth curve. It should be a smooth curve. Try to do your best to get a smooth curve, Lana. Yes, something like that. That. There we are, something like that. I hope it is visible. Like that, there we are, Lana. This is our ogive, or the cumulative frequency curve. So, Lana, in year 2015, they had not been told to calculate the median, but we can discuss it here. They were told to calculate the semi-interquartile range. So how do we calculate the median even if it was not there? So the first thing that you do is to get the position. The position of the median is normally a half of n, a half of the total cumulative frequency. So this is a half of what, Lana? Our n is what? Our n, Lana, is 40, the total frequency, 40. So our n is 40. And therefore the median lies on the 20th position, 20th position. So you go to your y-axis. You go to your y-axis where you have the cumulative frequencies. So you come to 20. 20 is here. You draw a broken line all the way to your ogive. You draw a broken line with a ruler like that, Lana, like that. Once you touch the curve, you then flow downwards. You flow downwards to read the median. You do it very accurately, like that, like that. So you come and read what is there. So if you do it accurately, you just try to do it as accurately as possible. So this gives you what? Your median learner should be around 63.5. 63.5 marks is the median. We go to part B. They had been told to calculate the semi-interquartile range. Semi-interquartile range. The other name for semi-interquartile range learner is quartile division. Quartile division. Just to remind you, quartile division. How do you get this? You get this by what formula? Q3, the upper quartile, minus Q1 over 2. Q3 minus Q1 over 2. And therefore, learner, what is your Q3? Your Q3 lies where? It lies on position 3 over 4 of n, and our n here is 40, and therefore this gives you the 30th position. You go to the cumulative frequency 30, cumulative frequency 30, there we are. Again, you do what we have just done with the median. You draw a broken line here accurately, learner, like that. Once you touch the curve, you then move downwards accurately. Try to be as accurate as possible. You come and draw a broken line there. You read whatever is there. You should get around 68. So your upper class limit is 68. So we go to Q1 learner. Q1 is the lower class limit. Lower class limit, it lies on position a quarter of n. Our n is 40. So if you work out these, it tells us that it lies on the 10th position. So you go and check on 10 in the cumulative frequency axis, there, the y-axis. Again, you come here, you draw a broken line like that. Once you touch the graph, you then flow downwards. Flow downwards accurately. Try to be as accurate as possible. You read this value there, learner. You read this value. This value is around, so our Q1 lies, our Q1 is 59.5 max. 59.5 max. And therefore, learn what is our semi-interquartile range. This is what they had been told to calculate. Semi-interquartile range, learner, is Q3. Q3, which is 68, minus Q1. Sorry, this was Q1, which is 59.5, divide by 2. Divide by 2. So, learner, this gives us 8.5 divided by 2, which gives us 4.25. 4.25 is our semi-interquartile range, or what we call the quartile division. So learner, go and practice on such a question. This question carries 10 good marks. All the best as you revise.